to,
I'd like to call the order of the town board. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Fisher?
Here.
Trustee Deteen?
Here.
Trustee McKinney?
R.
Trustee McDowell? Chairman Neal?
Here.
Wow. Number 3 on the agenda, the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Bremner, would you like to lead us again?
Will you all please join me in the pledge of allegiance to the flag? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Are there any agenda changes this evening? Hearing none, we'll move on to item 5, approval of minutes of the regular meeting held February 19th, 2019.
We should have a motion to accept the agenda as presented.
Oh, have we ever done that?
We do it sometimes and
Really?
sometimes.
Okay. Is there a motion to accept the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Fisher?
Aye.
Trustee Deteen?
Aye.
Trustee McKinney?
Aye.
Trustee McDowell?
Aye.
Chairman Neal?
Aye. Next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes of the regular meeting held February 19th, 2019 at 6:15 p.m. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Fisher?
Aye.
Trustee Deteen?
Aye.
Trustee McKinney?
Aye.
Trustee McDowell?
Aye.
Chairman Neal?
Aye. Are there any citizens' comments tonight? You going once? No jokes tonight, Mr. Bender? Twice. Okay, moving on to item 7, authorized bills for payment. Trustee Deteen.
Yes, I humbly submit the township bills for this month of $75,526.09 to my honorable colleague.
Is there a second?
I will second.
Any discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Fisher?
Aye.
Trustee Deteen?
Aye.
Trustee McKinney?
Aye.
Trustee McDowell?
Aye.
Chairman Neal?
Just so everybody knows, at 3 o'clock the day of the meeting, Trustee Deteen and Assessor Wickets and I sit down and we go through all of the financials, and he asks some pretty hard questions to make sure that everything's on point. So thank you for the questions that you do ask, and if anybody ever has any questions about anything, we'd be more than happy to sit down with anyone with that. So moving forward, item 8, consider approval of the 2019 annual town meeting agenda per Chairman Neal. So just so everybody knows, April 9th, Tuesday, April 9th at 6 p.m., we have our annual town meeting. And every township across the state of Illinois has an annual town meeting on the same evening. Some of them have it at a different time, but it's always on this day. And it's an opportunity for citizens to come and share some of the things that they're concerned about, some of the things that they'd like to see us doing. And actually, in the state statute, there's 36 specific things that townships can do. Some of them have to do with like moving fences and property and those kinds of things, but some of the other things are requesting that there be substance abuse treatment opportunities in the community, which actually happened a number of years ago, and we took advantage of and made sure that we have those services available. And so, what's that? Yes, it'll take place here at 6 o'clock. So we would love to have residents in attendance at the meeting if you can make it. So, and would love to hear any of your input that you would like to include as well. So having said that, we have the agenda for the annual town meeting.
That's what hour, ma'am?
6 p.m., sir.
6?
Yes.
Rather than 6:15?
Yes, this meeting will be at 6 p.m.,
Thank
correct?
you, ma'am.
Yes. I would love it if you could be here, sir. So, thank you. Yes, yes. He usually steps in as our moderator, just so everybody knows. He's experienced at it. So that said, is there a motion to accept the agenda as proposed?
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Clerk, please call the
Oh,
roll.
wait, I have discussion.
Okay.
Then the next time we print the town budget, could it perhaps be a little bit larger?
Yes. Well, when we go into the budget, I'll share with you why it's smaller.
little hard to read.
Okay. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Fisher?
Yeah, especially for, this is for Billy's sake, that's right.
Oh, right. Aye.
Trustee Fisher?
Aye.
Trustee Deteen?
Aye.
Trustee McKinney?
Aye.
Trustee McDowell?
Aye.
Chairman Neal?
Aye. So the next item on the agenda, I just wanted to update the board. One of my goals for this year was to maximize the space in our office with as many different resources that could assist residents as possible. And I thought I should bring it to you for, just to have it on the record, who all we have in the office. We have State Senator Melinda Bush's office is at our place one day a month. State Representative Joyce Mason, she actually has staff in our office well, both of them are there on Wednesdays. Joyce Mason's Representative Laura is there every Wednesday. We also have NACASA substance abuse evaluations every Monday and Tuesday. Mano a Mano, we've actually got two different individuals there assisting. One is focused on the different health insurance and food stamps and being able to help people navigate those services. And then we have another counselor there that helps Latino residents that are trying to navigate immigration and the different things that are available. So that has been a goal of mine for a very long time. So I'm really excited that they took advantage of that. Most recently, I was approached by Cynthia Linke, who most of you know. She is the executive director of Princesses and Ladies, and she is working on getting her LSCW for social work. Is that right? Yeah. LCSW, license in social work. And she has to do a number of hours in order to get that. She's already gone through all of the practicum. She just needs to do the hours, and she is being overseen by a licensed therapist, and she offered to do counseling for free in our office for individuals, couples, and families, and she's doing some groups. So we've got all of her paperwork. We've got a letter from the overseeing therapist. We've got her her insurance, so she's got insurance to cover. And so really excited about that partnership, being able to offer that. So anybody that is interested, call the township and we can get you that information. So if you turn the page, we also have English as a second language classes being offered there every Tuesday and Thursday. Grandparents Raising Grandchildren is there one day a month. Community Action Partnership provides financial education twice a week, I believe. Affordable Housing Commission provides financial education one-on-one counseling, as well as their first-time homebuyer classes are going to be offered there. And then on occasion, the Lake County Housing Authority Self-Sufficiency Program offers a program to residents in our community. So just wanted to update you on that. We're always looking for, we really want to fill the space and the time so that as many residents as possible have access to different services that they wouldn't normally have in our community. So I would love a motion. Can I do a motion to approve that list? Yeah.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Is there any discussion? Any questions, comments, suggestions, something else you'd like to see?
Do you have enough room for all these people?
Right. So we have, because we used to have the accountant's office, and we have, we no longer have an accountant. We subcontract that out for $1,625 a month. And so that office is available, and we turn that into the general office.
Okay.
So it rotates in. We have substance abuse counseling there on Monday and Tuesday. We have Mano and Mano there on Thursday and Friday. We have our state rep and state senator there on Wednesdays.
Okay.
And then, and then the other programs are in our boardroom, as well as in my office. So in the evenings, Cynthia will use my office for counseling.
Okay.
And so, yeah. So if you come up with any other organizations, anything that anybody wants to do, we can work it in. And we would love to do that. So a number of these items are suggestions that you guys actually gave me on and off the floor for moving forward. So thank you very much for your help with completing those. So clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Fisher?
Aye.
Trustee Deteen?
Aye.
Trustee McKinney?
Aye.
Trustee McDowell?
Aye.
Chairman Neal?
Aye. Item 12, consider interagency plan for purchasing van for the summer work program. So last week I met with retired Judge George Bridges
and Lori Villalobos from my father's business, Matt Thornton's sister. Because the idea is, so we desperately need a van for our summer work program. It's a 6-week program, and we have had to lease from Enterprise, and it cost us close to $3,000 to be, because with every driver, and we've got 4 supervisors, so it ended up being really expensive to do that. And so last year, we partnered with Matt Thornton's group, my father's business, because we were told they had a bus. And so they said absolutely, and so we leased the bus from them. Well, it turns out it was the old ESDA bus, and it has got a number of issues, right? I mean, our van was pulled off. The reason that we only have one van for our summer work program is because the other van was deemed not safe on the road. The chassis had actually rotted out. And so driving this bus it felt pretty close to the same. So I got with Matt and his sister, and what I'd like to do, and I've shared it with you already at a former meeting, is to partner with them to purchase a 15-passenger van that we would use for our 6 weeks in the summer. And hopefully 1 day a month for my Red Hat trips, so that I don't have to burden the Park District by taking their bus anymore. And then my father's business would be using it for their basketball program the rest of the year. And so one of the things my father's business is having their board meeting on April 18th at 6 p.m. And I asked if I could go and meet with their board to talk more and try and nail down some of the details, who should actually be the owner of it, how that would work. So what I would really appreciate is to have one of the trustees come with me to that board meeting, somebody that has a mind for this stuff, because I don't, to make sure with some of the details. George Bridges did check all of the state statutes, and it is absolutely appropriate for us to be able to do this partnership. One of the issues is, and you'll see it in the budget, that they have to have their 501c3 status for 1 year. And their 1-year date, I believe, is July 7th. We need the bus on June 21st. That's when our summer work program starts. So what I'm hoping we can end up doing is have the township purchase the bus, and then have my father's business with reaching out and getting some funds, be able to pay their half, after that date, so long as we can get the vehicle. So a lot of details. I'm not sure any of them, but if any of you have a hankering for doing this type of agreements, I would love to have one of you that's available that night come with me to the board meeting. So we can talk later.
What night of the week is it? When is it?
Is it a Thursday? Yeah, April 18th. Yeah, it's a Thursday. At 6 o'clock at Wesley Free Methodist Church. So if you can check your schedules later or whatever, and I can talk to somebody and see.
Well, I mentioned this the last time you brought this up, and I think we'd be better off having one owner of the vehicle, and then either renting or leasing, whatever arrangement you want to make. So either my father's business or the township.
Right.
Actually own it and maintain it.
Mhm.
I think that's the key, is the maintenance on the bus. When you've got multiple owners, sometimes the maintenance issue is not cared for.
Mm-hmm.
Because even though you might spell it out, it just
Right.
might not be thought of, I'm supposed to check the oil. Well, I thought you were gonna check the oil.
Right,
And,
right.
that kind of stuff.
Right, absolutely. So, and preferably, one of my thoughts was that if we maintained the maintenance and the insurance at my father's business, they don't have income for doing the services that they do. Their concern was that the wear and tear on the vehicle, they don't want to feel guilty for the wear and tear if it's a township vehicle. And I made it clear to them that with our kids, there's wear and tear too, always. But it is also an opportunity to teach the kids, to respect the vehicle. And having said all of that, our vehicles have gotten quite worn down quite quickly with the kids in and out, and, all of the tools and all the stuff that goes into the buses, or the van. But the only thing I did was I promised Adrienne I would have a solution by the time the summer work program kicked off, so I'm on a timeline. So I appreciate your guys' input with that, and as we get the information, I'll make sure that everybody has it, so we can I want to make sure that we do this right, because I know a lot of friendships and a lot of partnerships can turn really bad when you don't do it well. And so I'd like to do that. Okay? So excellent.
Sounds good.
Thank you. So next item on the agenda I'm really excited about, discussion regarding ZB Magazine collaboration. So I've been talking about this for, I think, 12 years, Christine Wortman said. The idea of doing a collaborative magazine that all of the different taxing bodies work together and mail out quarterly. And when I say all the taxing bodies, my dream is Village of Winthrop Harbor, Village of Beach Park, Village of Wadsworth if they're interested, Zion, the townships, the library, the park district, the school districts, and each of you, Lloyd, I showed you one earlier. After I started working with Christine Wortman from the Park District on it, I was connected with Kelly from Lakes High School. Antioch, Lake Villa, and Lindenhurst already do this. And so each of you, I give you a copy of one of their magazines. And we're looking to do it like this. We got all of the costs, and the cost for the magazine would be $400 per page, which to me is dirt cheap compared to, any other way to be able to put information out. And it would just be an opportunity for 4 times a year that each taxing body puts it in, and then residents would have it to keep to find out key dates, key information, key phone numbers. And then in the back have a community calendar where we have a calendar of events for the communities and then a separate one for each of the schools so that people have this as a go-to to be able to refer to. So, so what I'm asking for your support for is, one, hopefully being in favor of doing this magazine. 2, allowing Zion Township to be the collector of the information. Kelly at Lakes High School, she was the collector. Everybody would send her the information. She would organize it, and then it would go off to the designer. And she is willing to do that. In the cost, the $400 a month, or $400 a page, that cost also incorporates Sandra working 24 hours on this, so her salary would be reimbursed to the township for that 24 hours per magazine that she would work on it. So that would be 24 hours in the 3-month period. As well, okay, so now I need my glasses. Let's see. Oh, as well, what I would like to do is in the next budget, allocate $40,000 for this magazine, which would be reimbursed by all the taxing bodies paying for their pages. But it's just much smoother and simpler if we have one person that's paying the printer and paying for the designer, and then everybody pays into. And our goal, the township, we're haggling between having 2 to 4 pages in it that we would like to do each quarter. So, yeah.
Okay,
That's my
you want
thing.
comments and,
So do we do a motion first, or can we do discussion?
So, do we need a motion
Okay,
for
good.
discussion?
No, okay, good.
No.
Okay, good, so yes, thoughts?
go ahead.
How many entities do you already have signed up for this?
So I wanted to respect you guys first by bringing it to you and getting it approved because having Sandra be the collector and having the pass-through account are 2 key ingredients. So I didn't want to put it out to anybody until we did that. That being said, Christine Wortman and the Zion Park District are completely on board with doing it. And so I've mentioned it to some of the others in passing over the last 12 years, but to have an actual copy of this, once, if it gets approved by the board, then I would send it out to everybody else to see what they're wanting, with the goal of, so the timeline, and I gave you a sheet with the timeline. The timeline would be that all of the information that people want to have in it would be to Sandra by April 14th, I think, or the second week of April, to get it out by Memorial Day weekend. That would be our first one.
Is there a participation threshold that you have to hit?
Yeah, we have
to be
to-
able
Yeah.
to get enough buy-in on this
30
to make
pages.
it? Okay.
Yeah, we have 30, so we need the 30 pages to be spoken for by the taxing bodies.
If
That's
it's
our
more
only
than
threshold.
30, is the price the same, or does it go up?
So if we end up we can do 32 or we can do 40. So it depends on what everybody does. No, the price would actually go down if we have more pages.
Okay.
So, and after the first year, we'll be able to figure out, Sandra probably won't need 24 hours to do it. The designer probably won't need I think we budgeted 16 hours for the designer to be able to do that work, so the cost would go down.
Does
But
that 40,000 include the mailing and
yeah,
everything?
16,000 households that would be mailed to, and then we'd be ordering 18,000 magazines, so we'd still have 1,900 to be able to give out in the community.
Yeah. You've talked with the Park District. Do they intend to continue to publish their?
Yes, for now.
publication?
They've decided that for now, they want to do both, just to see how this goes, because if it fell apart, theirs has really good traction. So they're gonna, and the library as well, they plan on doing dual tracks where they would do this and theirs in the beginning, just to see how it works, then they would decide if they would incorporate. Cool. Any other
Well, I mean,
questions?
communication of activities and what's happening around town is always an issue.
Right.
I mean, I think about the fact that we do have a publication now, a newspaper.
Yep.
So that's a huge help. And I
Huge
wouldn't
help.
necessarily want to compete with that by publishing something on our own. And I'd want to make sure there's buy-in from all the taxing bodies, you know, everything everybody you've got listed here, so that we can have I mean, I see in the back here, there's a calendar of all of the activities in the community.
Isn't that
which
awesome?
It's all on, well, 2 pages.
Right.
But, you know, that's just this piece alone is very helpful.
Right, yeah. And if you notice in the magazines, they have, each taxing body has its own color. So you can tell by basing on what, you know, the edge of the page, what the color, you know, what taxing body is. So we got some, I'm so grateful. I'm not one to reinvent wheels. So when I found out that a neighboring community was doing that and they were willing to help us to make the right decisions, it was really helpful.
I'd also, you know, hate to leave one of these entities out of it, too. So.
Right.
It'd be nice to have buy-in from everybody.
So the goal is, and what these guys do is whoever wants to is in, right? And if we can get all the pages filled, we do it. And some of the texting bodies out there, they said, you know, no, we're not interested right now. And their idea is, as more people appreciate it, then they will jump on board.
Who said no already?
Who's what?
Who said no on?
No, oh, nobody said no in our, I wanted to respect you guys first before I went to anybody. But I'm talking about in theirs,
Oh,
right?
right.
So they wanted, so long as they had the pages covered, they went ahead with it.
Okay.
So yeah, so I will definitely let you guys know when we have the 30 pages covered.
So what you're asking for is a allocation of 2 pages in this publication?
So I'm asking for a number of things. I'm asking, one, for your support with it, right? Not just at the township, but if it can be brought up in the other meeting as well. I'm asking to allow Sandra, the business manager, to be the collector of the information. I'm asking for us to be able to budget a $40,000 pass-through account when we do the budget. And I'm also asking, I would like to be able to put in up to 4 pages in each magazine, including the assessor's information and the township information. That's all, yeah, that's all I want.
All right, so,
And the 40,000 is reimbursed, you said?
Reimbursed, yeah.
well, except for the 4 pages at
Well-
$400 each?
Well, yes and no, right, because Sandra's doing the work, and so she's doing it on township time, and we're getting reimbursed for all of her time. So we will get the $40,000 back, right, because it also covers Sandra's time working on it.
And the price goes down if there's over a 30-page threshold.
If we end up doing the 40 pages, that price will go down, yes. Cool. So is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve. Let's go.
Second?
I think it'd be a good tool for the community
Mm-hmm.
if we can get this to work.
It's gonna be a slow moving to get it going and get everything in sync, but I think it's gonna be really good for the community.
Commissioner Fisher, if I were making the motion, it would be along the lines of just not carte blanche, but that we get 30 pages
Oh, right,
paid for.
of course.
And then I would be more in favor of approving it.
Cool.
Because you wouldn't be able to publish it without.
Right, yeah, I won't
30
move
pages.
forward unless we've got it
All
covered.
right, I would
So, yeah.
just like to make that clear. That's-
Cool.
I don't know if that's
Got it, clerk?
something you want to consider.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we can amend the motion to say that if we are able to meet the threshold for publication, that we move forward with this. Absolutely.
Excellent. And I take it that's a second?
Yeah.
Okay, motion a second. Any further discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Fisher?
Aye.
Trustee Deteen?
Aye.
Trustee McKinney?
Aye.
Trustee McDowell?
Aye.
Chairman Neal?
Aye. Next item on the agenda is the tax objection recommendation per attorney. Okay, so I'm just going to read this because it's still way over my head, but so this was the response from the attorney. Dear Sherry, I'm writing in regards to the pending tax rate objections against the township. As you will recall, there are objections covering the years 2011 through 2015, totaling $51,397.64 before statutory interest. The objections were all excess accumulation complaints alleging that the General Assistance Fund in 2011 and 2015 had an excess of over 1.1% of the average of the prior 3 years' expenditures, and that the Social Security Fund had an excess of over 2% for the 2012-2015 years. Just to pause there, it's like, my biggest frustration over the time of trying to understand this stuff is I was always told, right, that it is the responsible thing to have 1 year's surplus, because you never know. And when I came in as the township supervisor, we actually didn't have enough to make payroll, so we had to go work with First Midwest Bank and do this whole loan thing, and it was crazy. So I tried to stay with that. And an attorney firm found something in one of the statutes that hopefully they're working on in Springfield right now, but that said that if you're more than 1.1% over, I'm not even going to say this right, over what your allocation is. So if general assistance, if our budget's $300,000, if we have more than 300,000, what is it? And then 1%, whatever that is over, then they can sue us for that extra, right? Now, I have never heard that. Nobody at TOI had ever heard it. And so then we got caught up in this, and it's been on the books for quite a while. And so, so that's what all this is about, and it has given me more frustration. So in discussions with you and your business manager and in reviewing the records, I determined that his allegations are correct. The General Assistance Fund, as I explained to you, has a quirk in the statute in that it is one of the few statutes that places a very limiting amount that may be levied for, specifically that a township is supposed to levy only for that which is actually needed and no more than 1.1% over the average of the prior 3 years' expenditures. And it's 60 ILCS 1-235-20A. That being the case, I have attempted to negotiate a settlement with Mr. Carnes, the attorney representing the rate objectors. His offer to your former counsel had been $25,698.82 plus all statutory interest, which rounded up to about $28,000. After several meetings and discussions with him, I have reached a tentative settlement figure of $17,800 for all the years with no statutory interest. In my opinion, I cannot move him any further, and considering that he has the law and the facts supporting him, I strongly recommend that you accept this. I could continue to argue with him, but in my opinion, it would not be doing the township a service. I recommend you cut your losses and allow me to finalize this matter. The amount would be taken from your next levy. It is paid to him, and then he distributes it, less his fee, to the various companies that he signed up as clients. As to the future, I am pleased to report that you have no objections for any subsequent years. We don't know about 2018 until November. If you have any questions regarding this matter, please contact me, Scott. So, because there's a lot of townships that have a whole lot in their balance fund, and ours has always, we have like squeaked and tried really hard to make sure we had enough, because when we had that drop in the EAV, I mean, literally, our budget was cut in half. When I started at the township, I had 10 employees, and now there's 4.5, plus, four and a half including me. And so just this ride has been so crazy, and to find that there's some like quirk in the statute that somebody can come after, it frustrates me beyond words. All that said, I really want to put this behind us, and I would appreciate your support with having Scott finalize this deal so that we can move forward with that.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we pay the amount suggested by our lawyer to
$17,800.
$17,800 to settle this tax objection.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? I just want to say thank you for supporting me with changing attorney firms so that we could get this addressed. It's been really smooth since that, so thank you. No further questions. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Fisher?
Aye.
Trustee Deteen?
Aye.
Trustee McKinney?
Aye.
Trustee McDowell?
Aye.
Chairman Neal?
Aye.
Just a point, we need to have those doors reopened. This is an open meeting.
Oh, oops. Good catch. Is that what an open meeting means, that